Right. So a few more questions on Shapeshift. You're decentralizing the company, but really we've talked about decentralizing the exchange. How else are you decentralizing the company?
Yeah.
Are you actually breaking down the company? And is the end game here really that there will be no Shapeshift?
Yeah. So up through April of this year, we had integrated decentralized exchanges and destroyed our own exchange. So we stopped being an exchange as of April. That was not us decentralizing Shapeshift, but it was us decentralizing trading. Uh, on July 14th, just a few weeks ago, we announced that we are decentralizing the entire company. So, yes, this means that the entity itself will go away with time. It means all of the code of Shapeshift, front and back end, will be open sourced with time. It means we will not have any employees. We will not have me as a CEO. We will not have bank accounts. We will not have business contracts. The entity goes away and the project lives on as an open source, decentralized, token based community. So we can go into any part of that if you want, but that's essentially what's happening.
Well, okay. So first point, because Shapeshift does have a team, therefore it does have costs. How is
Mm-hmm.
Shapeshift? What's the revenue model right now?
So right now there is no revenue model. Everything on the platform is just free. You do trades through Shapeshift, you're getting the same rate as if you went directly to the DEX.
Okay, so another question on there then, that must mean there are no trading fees?
Correct.
So, because I spoke to Jack Mallers recently about this, he was on my show talking about wiping out trading fees. He said trading fees are a race to the bottom. Eventually, all goes to zero, and ultimately you make your money on the users themselves. If you operate a business like his obviously is a centralized business, but yours being a decentralized business, I guess it's. Do you support? Because I haven't been a new Shapeshift in a while because I don't trade coins. Um, but do you allow people to use stable coins?
Sure, yeah.
So it's a cheap, very cheap place to buy Bitcoin then.
Correct. Yeah, and Thorchain is offline right now, but when Thorchain was online, it was the only place in the world where you could actually trade like Tether stablecoin for native unwrapped Bitcoin with no intermediary. So that'll come back online in a couple months. And yeah, I mean, anyone who cares about Bitcoin immutability, like that is the sole mechanism that you can trade at scale in and out of stablecoins. I think that's awesome.
Okay, well, so we'll come back to that. So
there's still fees though, right? Like there's still fees charged by the pool or the protocols,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So yeah, Uniswap, SushiSwap, Bancor, Thorchain, they all have roughly a 30 basis point fee for the pool. You'll pay that if you go direct to the protocol. You'll pay that if you go through Shapeshift. So Shapeshift isn't adding any fees, but yeah, you're right that there is a fee. That fee goes to the liquidity providers. That's why people put up the liquidity, and that's what gets the markets deep.
do you want to explain that and how that works, who the liquidity providers are, why that's required,
Yeah.
etc.?
So for most of Bitcoin's history, all trading happened on central limit order books. You have a bunch of bids and a bunch of asks. Wherever those cross, the trade happens. People tried to do that model in a decentralized way, but because of blockchain latency and other issues like front running, it never took off. It never got sufficient liquidity, and so those, even though they were technically cool, didn't ever get traction. Uniswap didn't invent this concept of an automated market maker, but they certainly popularized it and are the biggest one to date. An automated market maker is essentially a different model from a central limit order book. And what you have is a pool of two assets, call it asset A and asset B. And the ratio of those assets in the pool is what determines the price. What happens is that if that price gets out of alignment with the quote unquote real price, arbitrage will take care of it and get both things back into alignment. Liquidity pools work beautifully on blockchains because they don't require a low latency environment. And they are very good at pulling idle capital that people have and letting them deposit it into these pools and earn a yield with time. So someone who's holding $1,000 of Litecoin can deposit it into a liquidity pool and earn a yield on that without any intermediary. There's certainly no KYC. And that's awesome because otherwise that Litecoin would just be sitting in their wallet. So it's great for the liquidity for the asset providers, and it's great for the traders because they get deep pools on all sorts of different assets. So it's a different model. Uniswap is the biggest, best example of it.
Okay, right. Back to the model. There's no business model here anymore for Shapeshift. So
Shapeshift won't be a business.